What's up, y'all? Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. We have a ton of work to do today, so let's get into it. Alright, so lots of stuff that we've been waiting on has showed up, so we are good to go to get quite a bit of stuff done on this thing today, but the main thing is to get it off of this engine stand and get this Exedy twin installed. Here we're just buttoning up the fuel rail and getting that installed. We got the new hardware for that, so now the fuel rail hardware matches all the other titanium we have on the motor, and so getting that buttoned down, getting some vacuum fittings and stuff like that on there, and doing some other things to the motor here to just button it up and get it ready to go back in the bay. Alright, we got the fuel rail taken care of, locked down. We got some other little things there on the intake manifold taken care of. Now moving forward, if you've been following along, you'll know this is an update kind of on the Skunk 2 stuff, but we finally got the old dipstick tube back in. The one that came with it kind of broke a little bit, and so they sent us out a new one. This one looks much better in quality. Like, the coating is different, like it just looks better. So I'm not sure what the deal was with the one I had, but this looks a lot better. So let's go ahead and pop this on. Just trying to fit this thing in there right now, and it's not going in super smoothly, and we have another issue. Okay, so we finally got this thing like pushed all the way down into the block right here. But I mean, they had the angle right on this one, but it's so close. I said it before in one of the videos where I talked about this, but I feel like the measurements should be there. With the amount of precision equipment that they have these days at their disposal to make these parts, I feel like that shouldn't be an issue. And I'm nervous to like pull it out of here a little bit to where it'll line up, because I mean, wouldn't that cause a leak? I feel like it would, because it's not all the way down. I feel like that's just asking for a leak. Okay, so I talked to STM just to like kind of hash out some ideas that I had going on and thoughts and things on the dipstick tube. And he actually said that he's never actually experienced an issue like this before. So of course, why wouldn't it be with the one I have? I can't pull the dipstick tube out to line it up because the O-ring won't be seated and it will cause a leak, most likely. I can't just run it without it being mounted down, because that would obviously, with the amount of power and things I feel like this motor is going to make, I don't want to blow the dipstick tube out of the block, because if it blows out down there on the bottom, that's not going to be a fun time. And so, yeah, I guess I'm going to have to contact Skunk 2 yet again. Anywho, moving on. Let's go ahead and install the throttle body, get that on there, and get it buttoned down. So I tried to order some titanium stuff for this, and I ordered the wrong thing. It has this little flare thing on it, and yeah, it doesn't go in the hole. So I'm just gonna use the shit that they sent with this thing for now, and we can maybe change it later, but I'm mounting this thing on regardless. I think I was still a little bit bothered by the dipstick tube, but this hardware isn't that big of a deal. You can't even really see it once it goes into the throttle body anyway, so it's fine. Alright, went ahead and got it on there, and actually I don't really mind not having those tie bolts. You can't even see them in there anyway, so it would be kind of useless to me right now. If I begin to notice it later on, then we'll change it, but for right now, I don't mind it. We got the thing on there. We got to do some finagling with the TPS sensor right here, but everything else is good to go there, so let's move on and we'll mount the alternator. Actually, before I do this, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing off of the stand. I'm tired of looking at it on here. I got the hooks installed already. Let's just get it off the stand. I am going to do whatever I can to protect the valve cover from getting scratched up and or scuffed up. That's one thing I hated about putting the valve cover back on, was the risk of getting it scratched up. So we got this towel here. I'm also going to wrap the whole thing in like saran wrap. So yeah, I'm just going to do what I can to try to keep it from getting scratched up. This may be a little bit overkill, but I just don't want it to be scuffed up and scratched up, you know? Oh man, oh man. This feels weird. Hope for the best. We got quite the contraption here to get this thing off of this, but we're gonna cross our fingers and hope this goes swimmingly. We've raised it up. It should slide right out of here if it's up in the air enough, which it's not. Holy shit, we're sliding forward. There we are. Holy shit. Now, we need to get it onto a little wooden cart here. Gently, gently, slowly. I think I might scoot it up a little bit on this cart here. I don't like how it's sitting there. I'm gonna tweak with this a little bit and get it where I want it, and then we'll jump back. Also, good Lord, sorry for that angle. That was really bad. Okay, we got the whole motor sitting on the cart how I want it. It's all leveled up and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's level-ish. Does the towel matter? No, probably not. Does it calm my nerves? Yes. Let's go ahead and get this thing off for the mount to the engine stand, and we'll get the clutch ready to go. That's a better angle, right? Oh yeah, that's much better. All right. And boom. Haha, see, we got the starter plate on there, and I'm gonna have to rotate the cart a little bit this way to where we can get this thing to hang over the edge, because right now it's sitting right up against the cart and we can't really slide it on back here. So either raise it up in the back one more plank or rotate the cart. I think I want to raise it up one more plank in the back. All right, got everything cleaned up with brake cleaner. Now we're gonna pop on the starter plate, which should be fairly simple. There's only 2 little bolts. Make sure we get it on the dowels evenly, that way it slides on. There we go. Boom. Now we got these 2 little guys. I always see everyone just do one, but I got both because it takes both. There we are. Starter plate is now on. And these go to 11 neuters. Starter plate is done. Yeah. ACT monolock, brand new flywheel bolts, and yeehaw! Alignment tool. Morning. Fresh Exedy. All right, so we got the fresh Exedy unwrapped here. We got to disassemble it first, but there is a blue line as per usual right here on the clutch. That has to be lined up when we put it back together, but we need to remove the plates here, get this monolock thing installed, and get the flywheel onto the car first. These are really on there. You have to break the torque. We're all free now. We should be able to get this thing up off of here. Now, we got to remove this little piece right here, this little collar. So we got to push this down, and then this little C-clip in here will come right out. Just like that. Whenever you push it in, you'll see it kind of like clear it and give way, and then you just gotta pry it up, and that will come right off, just like such. Now we have these springs that go into this new collar we have, so we'll put these right here. Mono lock. All right, this has got the 2 springs already in there. So now we will take this, flip her over, and from what I know, we just push this in. Boink. Now we gotta disassemble all the discs, come straight up. We'll just pick them up off of there, set them in the bag here, and we'll be good to go. There we are. I'm going to hit this with some brake cleaner, and then we'll take it over to the motor and we'll stick it on. We got everything cleaned up. Now, this flywheel can only really go on one way. There's a little hole here where it looks like a dowel pin would go through. That should line up on the clutch or on the flywheel, and then you should mount it on there. So we're gonna mount that on there. I got my little bolts right here. I'm gonna just put one in there just to hold it in place for the time being, and then we'll go back and we'll Loctite everything. We'll put 2 on there just for good measure. Now, our blue line is right over here, so we'll have to keep that in mind when we're putting on our discs and everything. All right, we're gonna lock down these flywheel bolts. They go to 99 foot-pounds, so it's quite a bit. So we're gonna do 30, 60, and then 99. I've got this hammer kind of like wedged in here. It's wedged in there pretty tight, but we'll see if it works at 30 and 60. And we'll go from there, because otherwise I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here. I've got this piece of bar here that I might have to cut and make something out of to kind of hold it in place, but for now we're gonna try this. I've also kind of wedged this wrench in between the ground here, so it should be fine. We'll give it a shot and see what we got. The only thing that worries me is if we aren't able to get it to work and the Loctite starts setting up, but we're not gonna think about that. We're gonna take care of it. Here we go. I've heard you can overdo the red Loctite, so I just put 2 small drops on each side of the bolt and we should be good to go. All right, we got everything locked down. Everything has been marked. Massive shout out to my neighbor. I had to call him and have him come over here again because the motor was like tilting. Like I had it wedged and everything was fine down here, but like the motor itself was like trying to move and like twist and stuff like that, because I mean it's 99 foot-pounds, it's quite a bit, and then it's just hanging there. So he held one side of the motor and we just kind of torqued them on there. So good to go. Let's grab the discs and we'll throw those on next. All right, so we got the first disc in there. This is a multi-disc, obviously, and this one will say flywheel side disc, but the transmission side, the TM, is facing this way. So this is the flywheel disc, goes up against the flywheel, but this side is facing the transmission. If you flip this around, it wouldn't show anything on there anyway, but that's just so you know this is the first disc, flywheel side. Now we'll go get our clutch alignment tool and our other 2 plates and discs, and we'll have this thing on there. One little thing I've also heard is the disc itself, this piece here, the one we put on first, you want that notch to face straight up on the first one, and then on the second one you want it to go the other way, like don't have a notch straight up, that way they're not totally in line. But yeah, let's throw this disc on. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these down evenly so we're spreading out the force and all that kind of stuff in the star pattern as you normally do. And then we'll lock these down to 23 foot-pounds and we'll have an Exedy installed.
Installing a sports and performance clutch to suit various vehicles can transfer harmonic transmitted noises from the engine to the gearbox. This may also cause gearbox rattle. These transmitted noises will in no way affect the performance of the clutch or vehicle and is accepted in the performance industry where engine/clutch modifications have been carried out, aka race car.
Ooh, look at that. You know, it's too bad you never see this thing because it looks sweet. I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, but just look at how clean these vacuum lines are that we ran. We got all those fittings in there that we ordered a while back. Everything's nice, clean, ran. This one's from Dishworks. We had to get a little bit bigger one. The hose, I ordered all these fittings, and then the hose that went with this one, it was just too small. Like I was gonna clamp it, but it was too much of a difference, and I didn't want to risk it. So I was able to find this one from Dishworks. It was the only one that I could really find that had an 1/8 inch NPT and then the right size I needed on this end. So got that put on, and then we got this little 90 here for the blow off valve. So I am super pleased with how this turned out. Just not a lot of fluff, just in there, simple, clean. I guess it's time for you to make an appearance. Ow. Oh, you have been under that table for way too long. That looks really, really good. Now I gotta figure out how to get it out of there. I could lift it, but I have my hoist here with the motor, so didn't think that through. I'll just cut the box up. I'll just cut it out. We'll have to get it out of there. We'll cut off all the sides and everything. Might take me a minute, but we'll get it. You think this will work? Okay, a couple things. One, that is a Lord of the Rings collector's item, so no. Two, I like where your head's at. Okay. Let's see here. God. I need a handle. And you're wet. What the fuck? It's probably oil or something. Fuck. Now we roll you off. Easy peasy. Got this thing onto the cart. It needs to be like blown off. There's tons of like foam and stuff all over it. But we did everything new inside of here. Everything was basically gone through and replaced. All that stuff from Shep Trans. We did a brand new, well not brand new, but it's new to this. It was a used case on this side because the slave cylinder mounting bracket thing there was like stripped out and galled out and like crooked. So went ahead and replaced that thing. They had one there on hand, which was kind of cool. We'll clean this thing off, we'll blow it out, and we'll get this thing mounted onto the transmission. But I don't know if we can get that accomplished today. Actually, being as it is already past midnight, I'm gonna go ahead and end it off on this one. We got a lot done today. The engine is off the stand, the clutch is on, we got a lot of things buttoned up on the motor. I'm not even gonna mention the oil dipstick thing. We'll figure that out later. The oil filter housing will be here in a couple of days. And then, yeah, we got the transmission out of the box. And so next time we can get that transmission cleaned up, get some brackets mounted onto it, get it mated up to the motor and all that good stuff. And we should be rolling this thing up into the bay here very, very shortly. Things are getting super, super exciting. I can't wait to see it in the bay. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate it very much. As always, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. And if you have any questions, drop those down there as well. Be glad to help much as I can, chat, whatever. And I will see you next time. Bye.